What about a better way to address the problem? Have you ever tried to discuss a problem only to hear, "What about the time you did that?" That's an example of whataboutism. It's a way of replying to a complaint or a question by bringing up similar problems somewhere else. Whataboutism became famous during the Cold War when Soviet Union officials regularly used this strategy. In the face of criticism, the officials would point to problems in other countries to shift attention and avoid blame. Even though arguments based on whataboutism may appear sensible, they are often unrelated and distract attention from the original concern. This often turns the discussion into a fight, and both sides start pointing fingers. To handle whataboutism, try bringing the focus back to the original point. Also, let the other person know that their problem is important too. For example, you might say, "That's a good point, but let's focus on this now." By keeping our conversations focused and honest, we can lay the foundation for true understanding and progress.
Today's warm-up quiz. When people point a finger at someone, it means to blank. A. Give someone directions. B. Offer someone some advice. C. Blame someone for a problem. D. Force someone to do something.
You have 15 seconds to think about it. Time's up.
Welcome everyone to English for You. I'm Adam.
And I'm Elsie.
And Elsie, have you ever tried to talk about a problem with someone and instead of answering, they suddenly say, "Well, you do it too"?
It sounds very familiar. So I was like, wait, how did this become about me?
Exactly. It's like they hit you with a "don't blame me" button and boom, suddenly switch the focus.
Yep, instead of facing the problem, they just change the subject or blame someone else.
That's why learning how to address a problem the right way really matters. If no one deals with the real issue, nothing gets solved.
True. So are we learning how to win arguments today?
Not exactly, but in today's article, we are looking at a common reaction people have when they're under pressure and how to spot it when it happens.
Ooh, this sounds juicy. Let's get into it.
All right, our article starts off by saying, have you ever tried to discuss a problem only to hear, "What about the time you did that?" And there, everyone, we see the phrase "only to" plus verb, which is unexpectedly something different happens than what was expected. An example sentence would be, he studied hard for the test, only to find it was canceled.
Only to 加上原形动词就是不料或是反而。你是否曾经试着讨论一个问题，结果呢，对方却回你啊，你之前不是也这样吗？
So that, our article says, that's an example of whataboutism.
哦，那就是这个又怎么说主义的例子。Whataboutism? That sounds interesting.
Yeah, let's find out more about whataboutism. It says, it's a way of replying to a complaint or a question by bringing up similar problems somewhere else. And there we see the noun complaint. What is a complaint, everybody? Well, it is a statement that something is wrong or not good enough. A way to say you are unhappy about something. So an example would be, the customer made a complaint because the food was cold. I do that a lot. I always make a complaint if the food is too cold.
You do.
We also, in that sentence, everyone saw bring something or somebody up. And that means to mention a subject or start to talk about it. An example would be, during the meeting, she brought up the problem of the broken desks.
Complaint 这个名词呢是抱怨或是投诉，搭配的动词是 make a complaint， 那就是提出抱怨或是投诉的内容。那你收到一个人的抱怨内容，那就是 receive a complaint。针对某事的抱怨，我们可以用 about 带出来 ，a complaint about something。那另外 bring something or somebody up 是提到或是提出，所以课文说到这是一种用来回应批评或是问题的方式。透过提起其他地方也有类似问题来转移焦点。
So do you think this whataboutism is a new thing, or do you think it's been around for a while?
I think it's been around for a while, but people maybe just recently named it.
Really? Okay.
I'm not sure.
Well, to help you answer that, it says in our article, whataboutism became famous during the Cold War, when Soviet Union officials regularly used this strategy.And there we see the word strategy, which is a noun. It is a plan or method for doing something to reach a goal. An example would be, the badminton team used a good strategy to win the game.
Strategy 指的是策略，是一个名词，那搭配的动词可以有 develop 或是 form， 那就是去发展出或是组出来一个计划策略。那再来，如果去使用它、运用它，我们可以用 use or apply a strategy。所以这个那又怎么说理论，在冷战的时期就变得很有名哦。当时苏联官员经常使用这个策略。那在这句话当中，我们也看到今天的文法重点。Let's take a look。在今天的 Language in Focus 当中，我们要来讲 when 当关系副词的使用方式。第一个基本用法是什么呢？When 当做关系副词的时候兼具连接词和副词的功能，用来引导关系子句修饰时间相关的先行词。所以句型结构是先行词表示时间，再来加上 when 以及一个子句。给同学们一个例句咯。I remember the day when we first met。我记得我们第一次见面的那一天。那这是一个限定的用法，去限定那一天是我们第一次见面的那个日子。那如果是非限定用法的话呢，你在做的是补充说明，比如说 I visited New York in 2019， 逗号之后接 when the weather was very cold， 我在2019年的时候造访纽约。那你补充说明当时的天气状况怎么样？那时非常的冷。
So in our article, everyone, it says, in the face of criticism, the officials would point to problems in other countries to shift attention and avoid blame. And there we see the phrase, in the face of something, which is when you are dealing with a difficult or challenging situation. An example would be, in the face of danger, the dog protected its owner. We also see point to something. That is to mention or refer to something as a way of supporting an argument or claim. An example, the evidence points to the fact that he was telling the truth.
好，整理一下 in the face of something 是面对或是面临， criticism 是批评或是批判，好，这个字是个名词。那再来还有 point to something 是提及或指向， shift 好是个动词，代表转变或是改变。所以我们的这句话说到 shift attention， 那就是转移注意力或是转移焦点的意思。
Yeah, so they do this to avoid blame. Like, I didn't do it. Well, it's your fault. You're doing it. It's not us. It's you. And they do it to avoid blame. So there we see the word blame, everyone. And that's the act of saying someone is responsible for a problem or mistake. An example sentence using blame, we can say, it's important to accept blame when you make a mistake.
Blame 这边当名词用，指的是责怪或是指责。Avoid the blame 那就是避责，避开责任。Take the blame 那是承担责任哦。我们搭配的动词是 take。那如果你把责任怪罪到某人身上的话，是 put the blame on someone。当面对批评的时候，这些官员会指出其他国家的问题，用这个方式来转移注意力，并且逃避责任。
Continuing, it says, even though arguments based on whataboutism may appear sensible, they are often unrelated and distract attention from the original concern. And there we see, everyone, be verb based on something. And that is to use something as the foundation or reason for an idea or action. So an example could be, The story is based on real events. And there we see the word sensible, which means containing good sense or to be rational or reasonable. So an example sentence using the word sensible, we could say, It is sensible to wear a coat when it is cold outside.
好，整理一下 be based on something 是根据点点点，所以呢我们有时候看电影呢会看到这个电影是 based on the true story， 那就是根据真实故事来写成的，来拍成的。那另外呢 sensible 形容词是合理的或明智的，我们通常都会说 it's sensible to do something， 做某事是明智的或是做某事是合理的。 For example, it's sensible to bring an umbrella when it might rain， 天气可能会下雨的时候带把伞是明智的决定，明智的举动。
Right, and these whataboutism may distract somebody's attention from the original concern. And there we see original, which is an adjective. It's existing at the beginning or a particular period, process, or activity. So an example sentence using that word, we could say, although many people have copied the song, the original recording by the singer is still the most popular.
Original 形容词原先的或是最初的。那课文说到，即使这种说法听起来似乎合情合理，其实常常与原本的问题是无关的，并且会让对话偏离焦点。所以呢，偏离焦点 distract 这个动词就要用出来。 distract 是分散点点点的注意力，或是使点点点分心。 distract somebody's attention from something， 那就是转移某人对某物的注意力。好啦，我们的 AI 好像有想到一个 whataboutism 的例子，让我们一起听听看吧。
You know what I'm saying?
Is that a new dress? Aren't you trying to save money now?
Oh yeah. What about when you order pizza when you say you're on a diet?
Yeah, so whataboutism is not a good thing, and it could lead to probably many things. And our article says this often turns the discussion into a fight, and both sides start pointing fingers. And there we see the phrase point a or the finger at somebody, which is to accuse or blame someone. An example would be, don't point the finger at me for losing your hat.
好，这个就是指责某人的一个动作，把手指头指向别人，所以这种情况呢，很容易让讨论就变成争吵，双方就会开始互相指责。所以大家有答对今天的 warm up quiz 吗？我们的 quiz 的这个题目是 When people point a finger at someone, it means to A. Give someone directions, 帮某人指路 B. Offer someone some advice, 给某人建议还是 C. Blame someone for a problem, 指责某人 or D. Force someone to do something, 强迫某人做某事。所以当然 the correct answer is C. Blame someone for a problem.
Getting back to our article, it says, to handle whataboutism, try bringing the focus back to the original point. Also let the other person know that their problem is important too. And there we see the verb handle, which is to deal with a situation, a person, an area of work, or a strong emotion. So an example would be, she learned to handle her homework and chores by making a schedule every day.
Handle 这个动作呢，就是处理或是应付，可以是 handle a situation, 处理一个情况 or handle a problem, 应付处理一个问题。所以想要应付这个 whataboutism， 也就是又怎么说主义，可以试着把焦点拉回来原本的主题，原本的问题，同时呢，也要让对方知道他提出的问题也很重要。
So, when we get out of place in the argument or in the discussion, what can we do? Our article says, for example, you might say, that's a good point, but let's focus on this now.
你可以说，你说的很有道理，但是我们先专注在这件事情上。
By keeping our conversations focused and honest, we can lay the foundation for true understanding and progress.
Foundation 这个名词指的是基础 Lay the foundation or foundations for something 那就是为某物奠定基础。所以课文最后告诉我们，只要我们愿意保持对话的焦点与诚实，就能够为真正的理解跟进步打下基础。好啦，各位同学们， 不想错过更多精彩的 English for You 内容，就赶快订阅我们的 YouTube channel， 还有追踪 Facebook。
All right, everyone. Now it's for our For You chat question. And our For You chat question is, talk about a time when someone used whataboutism against you. How did the conversation go and what happened in the end? Well, we both kind of have one, right? So
You want to talk about it?
we can talk about our own personal life and about using maybe whataboutism. So do you remember the time when I said, hey, I just cooked all dinner and then I had all these dishes and I say, hey, Elsie, can you go ahead and clean the dishes? And then what happened?
And I would say, oh, when was the last time you cleaned the dishes?
Yeah, and I would say, hey, I did it probably last week, and maybe we get off topic, and then I might say, hey, well, do you remember the time that you didn't take out the trash?
And I would say, oh, you didn't take out the trash for a long time either.
Exactly. And so then we learn to say and communicate, hey, let's get back to the real topic. Let's clean the house and the dishes together.
Yes, and in the end, we cleared things up by focusing on the real issue and not getting sidetracked.
Exactly, and that's a great example about whataboutism. Now, you talk with your classmates and your teacher. What was the time that maybe you used whataboutism or someone used it against you? That's all the time we have for today. My name is Adam.
And I'm Elsie.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Vocabulary Review.
Complaint. When another worker was rude to Margaret in the meeting, she made a complaint to her boss. Strategy. The other team has a lot of strong players. We'll need a good strategy to beat them. Blame. Gary placed the blame on his classmate when the teacher asked why they didn't finish the project on time. Sensible. It's sensible to ask for a day off work if you're feeling sick. Original. The new phone lasts 36 hours before it needs a charge. That's 50% longer than the original model. Handle. It's best to handle problems when they first happen, before they get too big.
智慧小补帖
Criticism. Shift. Distract. Foundation.